Yeah, this is purposeful. There's a reason that I'm not saying shit. This ain't an accident. Welcome to probably the angriest post-game show y'all gonna see this year. I am, well, first of all, welcome to Two Guys and a Mic. I am so grateful. First of all, Merry Christmas. Second of all, I am so grateful to be able to have my co-host here today. Merry Christmas, Sean.
Merry Christmas to you too, brother.
Merry Christmas to your family. Hopefully everybody's doing well.
Yeah.
So, that aside, because it's always about love, it's always about family. I am the angriest host you'll probably ever see this season. This is the angriest that you guys will probably see me this year. I am one of your hosts, RP.
Now I'm your other host, Big Sean. Once again, Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, Festivus,
Hanukkah, all that.
Whatever the hell that you
celebrate.
celebrate.
That you guys celebrate, man. Sean is absolutely right. Whatever y'all celebrate, man, we hope that we exude that to you guys. We have a lot of love for everybody who does whatever they do.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we had a football game today, and the Browns decided to put their worst wares out on Christmas Day. The Grinch brought them cats nothing but cold, and they played like it. Baker Mayfield played like trash. The play calling was trash. As you can see what I have behind me, I don't know if you guys can see the whole thing behind me. I got the rushing numbers behind me because I have a thought process about what should have happened in this game. I'm not happy. I don't know if you picked up on that from the open all the way to this point. I done cut Sean off at least twice. We only been on the air for a couple of 3 minutes. I done cut him off at least twice since we've been.
I'm gonna let you do your thing. You go ahead and vent.
This is my angry rant. I am so angry right now, fans. I am probably the angriest. Definitely, not even probably. Definitely the angriest I've been all season. And I'm about to go into my Denny Green bag. I ain't letting nobody off the hook. I got a lot to say. A lot of it probably is going to be mostly emotional. It may not even make sense to nobody on the planet. But I am super emotional right now. I've had enough of this goofy ass team. I've had enough of this goofy ass coaching. I've had enough of this goofy ass play calling. And I've had enough of this goofy ass dude that wears number 6 that has 15 goddamn commercials per game that I have to go through that while I watched him throw his 57th interception per game. I'm sick of him. I'm sick of him. I'm sick of his wife. I'm waiting for her next text or tweet. I hope she got something to say tonight. She has something to say every goddamn week. She ain't got nothing to say now. She quiet. Why? You've been saying something all year, Emily. Where you at? And I don't even do this to people's wives. But I'm sick of y'all shit. And this is what we got. This is where we are. Nope, we ain't out the playoffs. We might make the playoffs. But you know what's going to happen when we get to the playoffs? You want to guess? Did you see the game today? I can tell you what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen when we get to the playoffs.
But they don't know what this is,
go to the freaking playoffs. I am listen, bro. I am so irritated.
They don't know what this is. Like what?
They don't even know what this is. This is what's gonna happen, though. Man, I'm so agitated, bro. Go ahead, man. Go ahead, Sean. Say some stuff. I don't want people to just be be listening to me rant and be angry, man. Tell me something about something, man. I don't give a fuck, bro.
This is hilarious. Oh man, look. Basically, what he's trying to say is, when he says that this is going to happen, mean that the Browns are going to do everything in their power to lose the game when the game is in their hands to win. That's what he's talking about. For like I don't know how many games this year, the Browns were in the position. I mean, put it this way. I'm going to start from the beginning. The Browns came out to play today.
Yes,
they came out to play. That like
yes,
we got the ball first, drove right down the field. The defense came to play. But it's you know, in sports, it's the little things. People always love the big plays, the splash plays, the fancy stuff. It's the little things that either help you win or cost you a game. And with the Browns, it's the little things. We were actually, you know what? I'm not going to say we were the better team today because we lost. But as far as executing on, like the Packers couldn't stop us at all. Like we had to stop ourselves. I mean, the reason why he has those numbers up there, the Browns were running the ball when we finally committed to running the football, or at least playing our brand of football that we really haven't done since the beginning of the season. It looked, you know, we were moving the ball like at will. And for whatever reason, they were getting away from it. And every time we got away from it, turning the ball over. We had 4 turnovers. The referees were garbage. I'm not going to blame them, even though that last play was an obvious holding call. But if we would have did what we were supposed to do earlier in the game, it wouldn't have come down to that. And that's what he's frustrated about. We can't trust them. We can't trust them to do the simple things. Just keep it simple. We lost 24-22. And the thing is, nobody gave the Browns a shot to win. Nobody in the city of Cleveland.
Not even me. I'll be honest. I didn't give us a shot. I know what I said.
Yeah.
We text what we thought the score could have been. But the truth was, just like I felt last week, I felt like if we do certain things a certain kind of way, we have every opportunity to win this game, regardless of us being shorthanded, regardless of us not necessarily being equipped as we should be. I still felt we got this if we do blah, blah,
I saw some good, like the last 2 weeks, with a lot of adversity against us. I saw the Browns do some very good things. They fought. Like when we got down 24-12, I thought, okay, that's game.
We could have mailed it.
We could have mailed it, and I was like, here comes the blowout. But no. And they actually, for once, they stuck to the game plan when they got down. They kept running the ball. I'm like, wow.
This is why that right there. I wasn't gonna go there yet.
Yeah.
That right there is what has me so frustrated, bro. You went to something that worked, and then you went away from it to try to win. How freaking stupid are you, Kevin Stefanski? How stupid are you when the game gets on you, bro?
And basically, and just in case anybody listening didn't maybe get a chance to see the game, you know, when we had the ball back with 2 minutes to go for a game-winning drive, had all 3 timeouts. They actually did clock management well. Had all 3 timeouts, and we
at the 50-yard line.
At the 50-yard line, you still had a chance if you could have run the ball the way we were running it. We were just run the ball.
You threw 4 times straight. For what? And for why? When we're averaging, Nick Chubb's averaging 7.5 a carry. I don't make these shits up. Ernest Johnson averaging 14.5 per carry. Anthony Schwartz is averaging 12 yards a carry. Baker's averaging 5 yards a carry. The damn Green Bay Packers give up 4 yards per carry. They're not a good defense against the run. We knew that coming in, but you want to put it on the pass. You know, this guy who done threw, he pretty much threw 5 picks. They dropped 1.
They dropped like 2 more.
I mean, come on, man. You want to keep putting it in this dude's hand, Kevin Stefanski? This is why I'm done. I'm literally done with Kevin Stefanski, and I'm literally done with Baker Mayfield. I am done. I'm not making excuses for these guys no more. I'm not expecting much out of these guys anymore because I think they are what they are.
And that's why I'm
I'm
angry and I'm upset, but I don't have the energy. I don't have anything left. Like, I'm emotionally drained.
And that's what I mean. Like, I'm so spent, bro. Like, it's freaking Christmas. I think maybe this Christmas game is a part of where my emotions are coming from, because it's freaking Christmas. I should be upstairs hanging out with the fam and, talking to them. But instead, I'm down here ranting about these dum-dums that get paid millions of dollars to be the dumbest people we've ever seen. And then I haven't seen a post-game show, but I'll guarantee you Kevin Stefanski is on somebody's post-game show talking about, we'll get better.
Right.
We'll figure it out.
Ain't no season left to get better. And and like I was saying earlier, it doesn't have to be this way, man. We've blown. They said a stat today. Aikman said that this is the 6th game that we've lost. 6 points or less, which is leading the league. Which means that
that's coaching, we're doing, and that's execution.
Yeah,
that's
which means that basically we're like the Atlanta Falcons, basically.
Yeah.
That's basically
we know the Atlanta Falcons stink, and they don't stink because they don't have good players. They stink because they don't execute well. And their coach isn't that great. Yep. So you got a guy, you have a coach that refuses to play situational football, number one. And why do I say that? Because he wants to call every play, but he's so immersed in calling the plays that he misses the situational stuff. Kevin Stefanski needs to stop trying to be the micromanager that he actually is. He's an OCD micromanager, and he stinks at what he does. And it's making him a bad head coach. I've said it all year. I don't think he's a bad head coach. He's a terrible offensive coordinator, though.
Right.
He's a terrible offensive coordinator. Stop.
Man, when we start moving the ball at will on, it was a beautiful thing to watch. I'm like, man, we ain't seen this in a long time. This is back to how we were looking earlier in the season and most of last year.
What were they doing, though, Sean, when they were doing that? What were they doing? They were running the ball.
Running the ball, screen passes, screens.
And the short screen pass.
And even back, even when we did pad, they're going back to like they're doing the play action rollouts. Remember we were just talking about that last week.
Yep. But that's what I'm saying. Like, they have to run the ball to make that stuff happen. Like, it's sort of the inside out type of game that you would see in a basketball game.
Yeah.
So either you're gonna shoot the three or you're gonna go inside, and then once you double team, now you get the wide open three once you go inside, because you got the force inside that can score. So we got to double. So now we kick it outside. Bang, bang, bang. Now I get this open shot. The run game opens up those open looks in the play action. The run game opens up those looks from the screen pass. I don't understand. It was a couple of screen plays that I saw that, like the first one that we ran when Chubb got like 40 yards. That was dope. But then there was a couple of them in there that I kind of was like, that was not a good setup. Like, the setup wasn't good.
Mm-hmm.
But they ran the screen pass anyway. So I couldn't be mad because at least we ran the screenplay, but I just didn't like the setup of it. And it didn't get as many yards, or you saw it coming. Like, I think the defense kind of coming, and maybe that was a part of it too. Like, we have some really good, and I've argued this for years, why we don't do so many screen passes. This team is capable of doing better screen passes. And we sometimes do the dumbest and the most obvious screen passes at times, and it sets us up for failure. I don't know what Baker was on today. I don't know what Baker was on today, but Baker was he could have been the worst quarterback in the league today. Today, the way he played today. I don't think that Baker's the worst quarterback in the league. Today, he was the worst quarterback.
Well, he was very bipolar today. He made some great throws on some big third downs, and he made some awful throws where he missed some guys and on those interceptions, like a couple of interceptions. One when Landry fell, I don't know whose fault that was, but still a bad, yeah.
Like, yeah. I was telling my cousin that. My cousin was like, well, Landry slipped. Had he stood up, he might have caught that. I'm like, no, he wouldn't have, because dude jumped around. And I don't think that Landry knew the ball was coming until he turned around and looked. And
because Landry I put up his hand.
Yeah.
And when he put up his hand, but he didn't turn around and look for the ball. And I think Baker tried to throw it back shoulder. And Landry didn't read it. Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that Baker was all over the place today.
Yeah.
And when the coaches put the game in Baker's hands, Baker did not deliver. So, I'm gonna stop calling from the rest of the season. I'm not calling him Baker Mayfield. He's basic Mayfield, and I'm not calling him. You are basic Mayfield. Secondly, Kevin Stefanski, you suck as a play caller, and I'm not relenting on that. Kevin Stefanski stinks, and he sucks balls and cocks when it comes to calling plays. This dude got back into the game running the ball and then went to passing the ball at the end when he needed to win the game. And he turned it over to a guy who has thrown 3 interceptions already. Right. Are you kidding me? Like, what are you doing? And it's not, I understand you got to have some faith in your QB because you put him out there. And this is your guy. I get it. But man, the thing that I've always loved about other coaches, they fully understand a couple of things. I know what my guy's limitations are, and I know what his heights might be. It's like Kevin Stefanski doesn't understand that shit. You have to say to yourself, I'm not going to, like, one of the things that we go back a couple of shows, one of the things that I was saying about, Bill Belichick with running 45 times in that game against that New England played against Buffalo. I'm just going to run the ball. I'm just going to run the ball. I'm just going to run the ball. I don't care. Run the ball. I'm not saying that the Browns should have just ran the ball. What I'm saying is he thought to himself, Coach Belichick said to himself, I'm not going to let this dude lose the game for me. I'm going to win this game based on how I plot this game out. Stefanski has to have that ideology at some point. But he continues to allow Baker Mayfield to call, I'm going to call this run play. Yeah, I know he already threw this terrible interception. First interception, maybe somebody ran the wrong route. Maybe. Okay. And everybody goes, oh, the refs should have called. They should have called that. But you know what else? If you see somebody double covered, don't even throw the goddamn ball. That's just dumb. That's just dumb. Because you're hoping, and this is what I was trying to tell you in a text. For you guys who don't know where I'm going with this, Sean and I were texting in this moment where Baker threw that first pick. Yeah, they should have called a holding or should have called some level of interference, some level of something. Something should have been called. But when you throw into double coverage, like, oh, that's a free play. That's a dumb play. Especially when you had Higgins running across the middle wide open. And if the play needs to be called, the play needs to be called, but you need to make the right throw. This is my problem with Baker Mayfield. Yeah, I could give this dude a pass, but I see stuff that has nothing to do with OBJ. OBJ ain't on the team no more. So ain't nobody running the wrong routes no more, right? Right? Okay. But you still throwing 4 picks. So what am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to think? I'm supposed to think that my quarterback stinks. And that's what I actually think. Basic Mayfield is basic as fuck. And I don't know that us winning the next 2 games, which we could, to be honest with you, the way the defense is played, this is the craziest part of my whole life right now. The fact that this goddamn defense is so good.
Right.
The part of the team that I've ridden the entire year, I've fired this goddamn coach 16 times over the season. I fired Joe Woods every week of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Every week of the year. However, guess why we were still in this game today? The defense. But the offense didn't give the defense the relief that it needed.
Yeah, because really Green Bay, they made, from what I can tell, like Aaron Rodgers made 3 incredible throws and 3 incredible catches. But that was it.
He's the GOAT, though.
Yeah.
He the GOAT. So, you expect GOAT level cats to make GOAT level throws.
Right? But when it came down, when it came down to us needing to get the ball back, when the defense stepped up like about 3 or 4 times, I was shocked. I was like, man, we actually stopped these dudes again and getting the ball back. I'm like, wow. So I get a defense all the credit in the world. That's the only, man, and really, that's the only way we're gonna get in the playoffs. But now, you know what? It's like, so going forward, basically, my theory was right. Remember when I said we got to ride Cincinnati's coattails and get to the playoffs, win the division?
You did.
Basically, I was right. So if Cincinnati, they'll probably beat. Well, I ain't gonna say that, man. Stuff's so goofy in the NFL because Huntley is on the COVID list. So Baltimore's playing their 3rd string quarterback tomorrow. Now you expect Cincinnati to win this game tomorrow, but crazier things have happened. So Cincinnati, let's say that they should beat the Ravens, right? Then they play the Chiefs, I think, in Kansas City, and you think that'd be a loss. And then that would set up us against Cincinnati the last game of the season. But are the Browns deflated? Like, did this loss, these 2 tough losses back to back, is that going to deflate them to the point now? Are they gonna give up? Because now you gotta go Monday night against Pittsburgh. I'm like, damn. Yeah. Like what? And people gonna look at Pittsburgh and like, that's a bad football. But right now we're a bad football team.
They're a well-coached team. They're a well-coached team. So they can figure out how to win a game that's very close, or they can figure out how to win a game that comes down to 1 or 2 decisions. So the bigger question is, and this is where a lot of my ire stems from. I don't have the faith in my coach.
Yeah,
I got more faith in Mike Tomlin, if you want to say it that way. I got more faith in Mike Tomlin than I do in Kevin Stefanski. I can't trust Stefanski just to do the right thing, man. Yeah.
It's like it's not hard. Like when we were road grading them cats.
Bro, how do you not go back to the run? You got 3 timeouts, bro. How do you not go back to the run?
Even when you put Dearness Johnson in the game, I was like, man, why are you putting this fool in the game that he ripped off a 20-yard run?
Every time he got the ball, this dude ran off about 14, 15 yards. So, okay. This is what we're gonna keep doing? We just gonna keep running? Oh no, not when we get into game winning. No. We're gonna get ourselves in position, but we're not gonna do it to win the fucking game. And excuse my language, because this season I've done a lot to not curse as much as I used to. But these some bitches, they pissed me off today, and I don't care. I have zero faith, and I'm saying this with 2 games left. I got zero faith in Kevin Stefanski and his play calling.
As a matter of fact, even Troy Aikman was like, yeah, man, they got 3 timeouts left, and they can keep running the ball. And he also kept reiterating. And a lot of people don't like Troy. I like Troy because Troy, I like guys that actually add something to the broadcast and speak intelligently about what's going on. And Troy Aikman is one of those guys. Collinsworth too. A lot of people don't like Collinsworth, but if you know what you're talking about,
I've actually grown to like Collinsworth because I'm one of those guys that don't generally like Chris Collinsworth.
And he's not as anti-Brown as he used to be.
Right.
But even Aikman was like, every time Mayfield missed a throw, an easy throw, he kept saying, man, he was like, man, these are the little things that will cost you a football game. He's pretty much saying, look, the Browns, like, y'all can win this game. Everybody, they were shocked that the Browns was like, hey, they still got a chance to win this ball game.
Listen,
they right here.
But how
and he kept saying, the little things like that will lose you a ball game.
Here's the thing, Sean, and I'm not taking anything away from what you just pointed out, and Troy Aikman being Troy Aikman, this dude has seen a lot of big games, and he's figured out a way to win in big games. Now, tell me this: when Troy Aikman went into certain huddles, and he turned around and looked at his Hall of Fame, soon to be Hall of Fame running back. Hey, man, you the guy. I need you to hold this rock because we just about to run this joint out. Troy Aikman knows how these decisions are made from top to bottom. Yeah, I could throw to Irvin. Yeah, I could, stand back here and do up. But you know what the best play is? This is why I got this shit behind me. I've said it for weeks after weeks after weeks. If you go back and look at our shows from last year, the one thing that was always a part of my keys to the game was running the goddamn football. Run the fucking football.
And right now, Chubb should be fresh. Because I looked at the
run the ball, man.
I looked at the game logs this year, and Chubb has not had a game where he's had 30 carries. I think the most is 26.
23 carries. That was the most.
I think 26 might have been the most all season. But still, I didn't hear no there.
Yeah, but I mean,
we didn't hear no there. But he hasn't had one where he's had 30. So now, because my theory was always, running backs tend to wear down towards the end of the season. So in a way, I was like, well, if you got Chubb and Hunt, ain't no use of wearing Chubb out if you don't have to. You can save him for games like this at the end of the year. And because there's always going to come a time sometimes where you just ride that horse, you ride that guy into the dirt. And we haven't done that this year with Chubb.
Today would have been the game to do it.
Today would have been the game to do it. Especially
today was the game to do it. But guess what? Kevin Stefanski thought towards the end of the game. We're gonna run to the 50-yard line and then throw ourselves into the end zone. What a goddamn moron. You're a fucking moron, Kevin Stefanski.
And on top of that, you only needed a field goal. Now, granted, you got the rookie, but still. But worse
field goal.
But worse comes to worse. But worse come to worse, you at least want to give him field goal range to give yourself a chance to win. He may not have made it.
Don't even give us a chance, man.
And Baker was
off. I don't care if Baker was like 38 touchdowns and 2 picks over the season. I don't care. Today ain't his day. Like, you have to be the freaking coach. You got to coach. Run the goddamn football. Please put the ball. I'm not sure. What does that say? 7.4 yards per carry. And we got 3 timeouts. So if you give him the ball, maybe he gets 4 or 5 yards, and then we got to call a timeout, right? Okay, so now we're at the 50, and we got 4 or 5 yards, and now we're at the 46. And then you hand him the ball again, and he gets another 4 or 5 yards, and maybe he gets the first down. Maybe not, but we'll call a timeout. Now you get to the spot where you got to throw, or you feel like you got to throw, or you feel.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna say this out loud on my show right now. Nobody pays me a single solitary penny for doing this show. No one does. I do this show because I enjoy doing this show. I actually enjoy doing this show, even in my frustration with one of my best friends on the fucking planet. So this is an opportunity for the both of us to let this shit out, because as Browns fans, we've been Browns fans for a long time, and we've done this actually for a long time. It's back and forth. So I enjoy doing this with him. But they pay Kevin Stefanski to know these certain things. I need one of those checks. I need one of those checks because I could get one of these checks and I could possibly win one of these dumbass games that we keep freaking losing. I might go into a game and say, you know what, Alex Van Pelt, you're smarter than me. Maybe you should call the plays. And I'm just going to pay attention to this. Nah, not Kevin Stefanski. Nope, I'm back. So I need to call the plays. I need to act like I need somebody to have 5 towels for people because I need a towel guy to do blah blah. You're doing too much, man. And I don't understand why no one knows this shit. And you know, the owners, D and Jimmy, you guys need to see that this dude is doing too much. I'm not going to say that he needs to be fired. But y'all need to have a sit-down conversation with this guy. You have to have a sit-down conversation with this guy. Because honestly, it takes so much out of me to not say it this way. I'm not one of these super uber over emotional guys that says every time, fire the coach, fire the coach, fire the coach. Listen, I've said it all year.
Fire the coach ain't the answer right now.
I don't want this dude fired. I think this guy has really good organizational stuff. I just think he's terrible at calling plays on a regular basis. What we saw coming out the gate was a situation that he set back and he put together. I told you, he's really good at scripted plays. But beyond the scripted plays, somebody else needs to do that. It can't be him. He's awful at it. He's terrible at it. And we see it. Yeah, we're 7-8. So people will say, oh, there's 7 more games than we won before. Again, that's the smallest midget type of mentality. Right. I'm the tallest midget. So what? You still
being 7-8 this year is unacceptable because we're not building on
the fucking talent that we got, man. You got a dude on your team with 15 sacks. You got a dude on your team with 5 or 6 sacks. You got guys that make turnovers. You got guys that are over 1,000 yards rushing.
You got a running back. On top of that, you got a running back that missed 4 games and still got 1,200 yards.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you have to understand your talent level. The talent level that we exude every week. People are afraid of us. But we don't make people be afraid of us all game because we do dumb shit. And that's because of Kevin Stefanski and his dumb play calling. Kevin Stefanski could easily be the dumbest play caller in the league. You got all this freaking talent. OBJ is out in LA somehow getting touchdowns now. And I don't want to bring up OBJ, but my point is, you said week after week, we're going to make sure that this happens. And it didn't. And it didn't. And it still doesn't. So now he's gone. And maybe he was a problem, but now he's gone. So what are you going to do about that? Nothing opened up. Nothing made more sense. Nothing all of a sudden happened. That's your freaking offense, dum-dum. And I truly believe that Kevin Stefanski is an offensive dum-dum. I'm not, listen, I cannot stand this dude calling plays no more. I'm done with Kevin Stefanski calling freaking plays. We're going to lose the next 2 games because Kevin Stefanski is going to keep calling plays. And I don't have any faith in him. I have zero faith in Kevin Stefanski in terms of calling plays. Yeah. None. Not one iota. I don't like Baker Mayfield either, by the way. And I'm going to put that out there. That caveat is what it is. Baker Mayfield, me and Baker Mayfield and my ability to try to make it, well, with me. Nope, we done. Baker, you stuck. You suck. You stink. And I'm done with you. You do not pay this dude more than the $18 million that you got to pay him next year. I wouldn't franchise his ass at all. No, that's gonna be about 22 or 23 million. Fuck, what the fuck am I gonna pay?
But him, like, the only reason why I bring him back next year is because.
But you got to bring him back.
You really don't have another viable option.
No. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with bringing him back next year. That's what you have to do because you don't have anything beyond that. Like the best thing that you have beyond him is what's his face, Case Keenum. So that's the best that you have. No, you don't put your whole freaking franchise on Case Keenum. No, you don't do that. But I'm not, after next season, I'm not going to put him in a spot where we just sign him to some shit and then he ends up, earning, when they do the franchise shit. So we're going to franchise and then he ends up making about 25 million.
You don't want that. You don't want that Kirk Cousins situation.
Like, to be basic as fuck. So you want me to pay this dude $25 million to be basic, Emily? Yeah, I'm talking specifically to Emily Mayfield. You want me to pay this dude $25 million to be the most basic dude that we've ever seen play football? Basic Mayfield threw 6 interceptions today. He only got credit for 4. But it was at least 6 interceptions today. He's terrible. Baker is terrible. I'm done with him. I'm done with Kevin Stefanski in terms of play calling. And we just need to start looking in another direction when it comes to our
this season. This season, if we don't make the playoffs, this season has been a complete waste. And there's been nothing. I don't care about individual accolades or anything like that. I don't care about having 5 Pro Bowlers or anything like that, man. This season has been a waste. That we have some bad luck at some times, yes. But all these teams now are going through it, as far as COVID and all of that.
Look, thank you, Sean. Because here's what I thought was going to happen on this show today. I thought I was going to go berserk, and I thought Sean was going to hang up on me.
Every point you made, even though you're ready, every point you made has been valid. Period. It's frustrating. Here's how frustrated I was. One thing, man, like I've been exhausted all week. Like I got some health stuff going on and I need to work out. And I came up with a bright idea to, I have my business that I do on the side. And I do food and I do cookies and stuff like that. I do it when I can.
I was mad as hell and I ain't get my cookie order in too.
But this is how my week went. So I decided that I was going to sell cookies for the holidays, right? The one thing that I didn't do was take into account that I have a full-time job. And so all these orders come pouring in. And I got to bake 33 dozen cookies in 2 days. And I'm like, wait a minute, how I'm going to do this and go to work? And I got to make dough. I was telling my mom, she was like, how you going? I was like, Mom, this was stupid. This is one of the dumbest things that I've done. People that pay their money, I got to get these cookies out. So I'm exhausted. Like I said, my health is not the greatest. People think that baking cookies, like how hard can it be to bake cookies?
No, that's hard.
Man, it is a hard, 33 dozen cookies, and I got to deliver them.
Nice.
So I get that done. I'm tired as hell. Now Christmas coming around, Christmas dinner. I told my mom I was going to do ribs. So now I got to get up early in the morning. Yesterday I do the ribs. I make a lasagna, whatever. All right, that's done. I'm still tired. Now we got company up. We had a few people, not a lot, with this Omarion variant going around. Yes, I said, Omarion.
Yeah, Mario.
So I'm watching the game. So the company that, had a few family members, it's all females except for my father. So nobody's really watching the game but me. My sister trying to get me to turn to the basketball game. I said, the Browns are fighting for their playoff life. Nobody cares about Golden State and Phoenix, but you. So people are talking to me while the Browns are playing the worst.
You can't even get your shit off like you want.
Right. So people are talking to me while the Browns are doing all this, and I'm seething right now. Then I'm ignoring people, trying to ignore people, trying not to be too rude, whatever. And then they lose the way they do, and people still here. I'm ready for them to go home. I'm like, please.
Listen, here's what Sean texted me.
I'm like, please go home.
I said, Sean, when you want to do the show, man, I just need to get this shit off my chest real quick. Because I'm so angry and I'm done with this shit. I don't want this shit to ruin my Christmas. Sean texts me like, I got all these niggas in my house.
That's exactly what I said. And they wouldn't go home. I'm ready for people to go. They laughing and joking. Ain't nothing to be laughing about. I'm ready to please leave.
I said that in my mind. I was like, they have no idea how angry Sean is. He want to set everybody on fire.
I'm like, well, y'all please go home now. Look, y'all ate good, y'all drank good. Everybody in a good mood. Because like we're not big on exchanging gifts, right? We actually exchanged gifts this year. So everything was all festive. My mom, coming off her retirement, she's been in a real good mood. I love see my mom smiling. Everybody's happy. I'm like, y'all ain't seeing this right. You ain't seeing my team in clothes.
Listen, Sean ain't happy. I'll tell you that right now. Sean
So they open their gifts. So they sit over there opening gifts. Everybody huddled around, and I'm still sitting in my chair, seething. I ain't moved. They looking at me like, so you ain't gonna participate in the family function? I'm like, no, I'm trying to watch this game, and y'all making me mad. Everybody's like, look what I got. I'm like, that's nice.
Man, listen, man. Man text me and said, man, I got all these niggas in my house. Like you was Fred Sanford. Like, I got all these niggas in my house. I gotta get rid of these niggas. I was like, hey, just let me know. Just let me know when it happens. Because, listen, I told my wife, I said, man, I was so shocked. I went berserk. Like, I lost it. I lost it when he threw that last interception. I went berserk. And then my wife, I forgot she was upstairs. I'm just walking before I'm pacing back and forth. And she goes, so you you still pacing? Babe, you okay? I said, what you mean am I still pacing? She said, yeah, you've been pacing since the game was on. I said, well, Sean got people at his house. I'm trying to get this shit out, but I can't get it out yet. So I'm like pacing upstairs. This is why I knew Sean was going through shit too. Because if you're a Browns fan and you watch this game, there's no way you didn't have a period where anybody who you were around who wasn't a Browns fan didn't look at you like, God dang, what's wrong with this dude? Like they got to look over at you to say it.
And the sad part about it is they gave us hope again. Like, stop giving me hope.
Listen, and people keep trying to tell me, like, I'm like, oh man, you too hard on. No, I'm not. I ain't too hard on nothing. Yeah. I've done this. I've been here for the last 40-something years, man.
Man, look, I was more comfortable when we was going 5-11 and 4-12 every year. At least I ain't had no hope.
Because that was the expectation.
Yeah, it was the expectation.
We
now they ain't gave him some damn hope.
Now to us, we should win this with this roster that we came into the season with. We all thought, I'll be honest with you, I thought 10 wins, easy.
Yeah, but you know what this is? This is Lucy and Charlie Brown with damn football. That's all this is. Lucy with the Charlie Brown with the football. And we fall for it.
Every time, man. I'm gonna swipe that ball up out of there, man. Come on, man.
That's what we are. That's what Browns fans are. We the Charlie Brown of sports fans.
Even
Man,
on
just
that
like the Halloween special, where everybody's like, guess what I got? I got an apple. I got a candy bar.
Guess what I got?
I got it. What did you get, Charlie Brown? I got a
A
rock.
rock. I got a rock. First of all, I got 37 holes. I'm supposed to be a ghost. I got 52 holes in my damn teeth. That's the first problem. They don't even know what I am, nigga. I don't even know if y'all know what I am. However, I got these 52 holes in my teeth, and I also got a rock in my stuff. And Sean is absolutely correct.
That's what we are. That's what we get. We get a bag of rocks every season.
I don't know that we're in a spot that we can.
I would love to say with the talent that we have, that stuff is going to turn around, but I don't trust. I can't trust them no more. Listen, bro, I can't. I want to trust them, but I can't. I just can't.
Do you see my face?
Yeah.
Like I want to say.
And you know what's going to happen?
Of whatever we've done to this point.
And the way that this season.
We'll figure it out, but I don't know that we'll figure it out. Because here's the thing, and Sean said something a couple weeks ago that still rings today. So a couple weeks ago, I was like, this dude is awful at calling offensive plays. Speaking of Kevin Stefanski. Well, Sean was like, well, I mean, this dude he's gonna call these plays. But if he gets called into the office and they're like, yo, we don't like the way you call plays. We hate it. You suck. But I mean, I don't know what the levels of that conversation is going to be. But what Sean was saying a couple of weeks ago is, I hope that Stefanski says to himself, yo, you know what? Going forward, maybe I need to let this thing go. But I think what's going to end up happening is we're going to end up losing this coach because he doesn't want to give up the play caller. He thinks that what he does is he basically is going to end up throwing players under the bus.
Yeah, because his mind is like, look, I'm calling the right plays. These fools are executing it, and some of that's probably true. It's probably probably some truth there.
I can't argue with all of it. I can't argue with all of it. I can't. However, there's times like today where I could easily say, did you call a pass play in this situation? Oh, you did. So I don't care what you say after this.
Right.
You called a pass play. I got Nick Chubb averaging 7.5 yards per carry. I got Dearness Johnson averaging 14.5 yards.
And the way that he was running, man, Nick Chubb was trying to win that game on by himself.
But you went away from him. You went away from him.
I can even tell by the way the defense was hit. Man, MJ Stewart was out there balling it.
Listen, I gave MJ Stewart grief last week, and I cannot give MJ Stewart no more grief. That dude was wrap-up tackle champion of the week this week. I can't, again, I've also called for Joe Woods' job. I can't call for Joe Woods' job no more.
Devontae Adams didn't even get off today.
Come on, bro.
You know,
these dudes played their asses off defensively, and you saw certain things that we should have been able to do. Now, if Baker don't throw that dumbass pass down the middle where this dude was double covered, the referee should have called a hold or something. But you don't have, you know what? It's a hold no matter where you throw the ball. You can throw that bitch out of bounds.
Right.
You don't have to throw it into double dumbass coverage. But he threw it into double dumbass coverage, expecting these dudes to call a penalty, and they didn't. So you end up not having the ball. So you give a 3-time MVP, potential 4-time MVP, the ball back.
Yeah, but you know what?
You can't do that kind of stuff.
The way this season is going, it's gonna come down to that Cincinnati game somehow.
It's going to.
It almost has to.
You already know it. You already know it. And Baker's gonna blow it, and so is Kevin Stefanski. I got it. zero belief. I have zero faith in Kevin Stefanski at this point in terms of a play call. I have zero faith in Baker Mayfield as the quarterback. I got zero faith in these guys. And I'm not just saying
like I get, and I haven't,
I just
and
don't.
I hate it on this way. Every time he dropped back the pass, I cringe now. I do.
And that's crazy.
It's crazy.
I be thinking to myself, like, when I see him do the play action, I'll be like, oh, here we go. Here we go. Like, hopefully he throws to somebody in orange and brown. That's the only thing I got. I don't have, bro. I watched this game today literally on the tips of my toes. I literally was like, everything that happened, I'm like this. Like, oh, I hope. You know, it's almost like you on a roller coaster that you ain't never been on before. You don't know where the curves are. You don't know where the hills are. You're kind of like this the whole time. That's how I was watching this game. I don't know what this dude is gonna do. And when we came out and scored first, boom, we up 6-0. Of course, first of all, also let me bring this thing in. I never thought that Dave Chappelle would be a part of my show. However, we have a kicker. His name is Naggar. And when I saw one of my frat brothers put this up, and he said, you know, we just signed this kicker from the practice squad. His name is Naggar. And I said, oh, I can't wait to hear the announcers pronounce his name. I can't wait. Like, I couldn't wait. So, of course, when he missed the damn extra point, everybody I know who's black was tearing this dude a new asshole. And I don't mean it in a regular way, like you just like, man, this dude sucked. This dude. No, they was using his name to tear his ass a new asshole. This nagger here. You know that? Yo, nagger ass kicker. So, but when I heard Joe Buck pronounce his name, he says Naggar. I said, ain't no fucking way this dude's name is Joe Buck. I give Joe Buck. Joe Buck was like, not today.
He's like, I ain't even going there. He's like, I ain't even about to. Joe Buck is a smart man.
Joe Buck was like, not today. Yeah. But that dude kind of screwed us. And then going for the 2 screwed us too. I didn't think we needed to go for 2 at that point. Just kick the field goal. Get your rookie kicker some confidence.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
There's no point in the second quarter to go for 2. Now you're down a whole 2, and then you end up losing.
Man, what happened to the 2-point conversion placard they used to have? Remember, they used to have a placard. Like, in this situation, you go for 2, or you go down and went out the window.
Well, he doesn't have that. Stefanski doesn't have that because he don't have any idea what he's doing at any point in the game. Because he's so involved in trying to make the right play call that he doesn't pay attention to. He's the worst situational football player, football coach and offensive coordinator in the league. He's awful. I mean, well, let me rephrase that. He's the most awful situational guy for teams that are relevant towards the playoffs.
Yeah. So, you know what else sucks too? Like, I like when the Browns have a game like this. I like them to come right back, maybe like on a short week or something like that. Get to say to my man, now we don't play till Monday night. So now we got to go. Not only do we got
I got to deal with this dumbass shit.
Yeah. Like, I can't, like, I'm debating whether or not I'm listening to some sports talk radio.
I'm not listening to shit. I don't want to hear nobody say shit about shit. I haven't listened to sports talk all day because here's the thing, bro. It's still Christmas, man. And I didn't want my day. Like, I went to sleep. I woke up with the kids and they picked through their stuff. And I said to myself, I'm going to take a nap. And when I woke up, it was like 12:30. I said, shit, I still got like 4 hours for this game. Like, I didn't know what to do.
Right.
But what I didn't want to do, or what I didn't want to be an issue, was I didn't want to have, my day be ruined by just waiting for this game. But it was so freaking long. It was like I was just like, and I watched the Browns countdown, which I hate that show. But I watched the Browns countdown, and I did, and I'm just sitting there like I still got 2 hours, I still got 3 hours. So when the game actually came on and we got the ball and it's only a certain amount of stuff that makes sense to me. So when we get the ball, I've been waiting all day. We get the ball, we move down the field and we score. I'm like, perfect. That's how you're supposed to do it. Okay, this nagger missed the kick. Okay, we still good though. And then these guys just start to play trash. And I start to ask myself, why did I even wait to watch this game?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? So I understand. Now we got to wait all the way to Monday night to watch the Browns play against the Steelers. And it's a game that we might lose on top of that. And it might be a game that we lose because we put ourselves in a losing spot. Because that's what we've seen. The last 2 weeks, we lost these games because we put ourselves in spots to lose these games. We should have won the last 2 weeks. We should have won the last 2 weeks, but we didn't. And you know why we didn't? We didn't game plan well enough.
Right.
We didn't game plan well enough. Like there was a couple of times last week that we should have went for it on fourth down. We didn't. This week, we were there and we had opportunities to win this game and put this game away. And you put it in Baker's hand. A guy, I mean, and not to say that Baker's the worst quarterback we've ever seen, but sometimes it ain't your day. And you just can't keep giving it. Remember a couple years ago, Sean might remember this, but I know that people who would listen to the show may not remember this. Some years ago when we went 0-16, we played a game against Miami, down in Miami, where our kicker missed 3 kicks.
Mm-hmm.
And we get into overtime. All we need is our kicker to make a kick, correct? Right before we go to overtime. I'm sorry, we weren't in overtime, but we were at that point of overtime. I don't know what nobody else said, but here's what I said. There's no way on the planet I'm letting a dude that's already missed 3 kicks kick again. Not today. Maybe next week, but not today. But what did Hugh Jackson do? I'm going to send my guy out there. We're going to ride him down on his dumbass leg. And he missed again. Again. That's exactly what Kevin Stefanski is living in a legacy of Hugh Jackson right now. I'm going to ride with my QB. The dude who's thrown 4 picks already, or 3 picks already, rather. I'm going to ride with this guy. He's going to eventually throw the right pass. This ain't the time to do that. You cannot do that in these moments, Kevin Stefanski. You're going to find your dumbass an assistant for the rest of your life if you keep resting on these things, because you're going to get fired from this position. And now nobody's going to hire you to be their offensive coordinator. Who the hell, what big-time offensive guy wants to play in your offense? Nobody. Because you don't give any one person the love that they deserve. This dude, OBJ, been in LA for a month. He got 4 touchdowns. Guess how many touchdowns he had when he was here? None. That's on you, offensive coordinator, offensive play caller, offensive designer. You got to put this stuff together. Jarvis only had 4 catches today. What the fuck is going on with this offense? This offense sucks ass, and so does your quarterback, and your quarterback sucks ass because he plays in your offense. Kevin Stefanski, you suck balls and cocks, bro, when it comes to setting up offenses. You do. You just do. You got a good idea, but you got to let somebody else call those plays, man. We got 2 games. I'll guarantee you if we lose this next fucking game, we done. And I got no faith that you are going to win this freaking game for us. You cannot game plan enough to win this dumbass game, and I don't think that you're going to win this game. I got 0 faith. So I'm going to call it today. We losing. Next
And
Monday.
most likely, you should have everybody back that Pittsburgh game.
It ain't gonna make no difference.
I know you gonna go there. We're gonna go in that Pittsburgh game with a full clip,
and this dude gonna still find a way to lose this game.
Yeah. All right, man. So
listen, I'm serious. I have no faith in this guy. No, I got no faith in this guy.
Me either. So
attempting to have faith in this guy, and I'm done having faith in Baker Mayfield. I'm finished. I told y'all weeks ago, there's no excuses no more. I'm done with the excuses. I'm done with trying to figure out what's wrong.
Well, you've been one not to make excuses all year. I give you credit for that. You know, I mean, I'm fighting this sinus infection, and this thing is kicking my butt. And somebody decided to buy scented toilet paper, so every time I go to blow my nose, it smelled like a bouquet of flowers. This shit is irritating as hell. Like, who did this shit? You know, but I ain't know they even made scented toilet paper. You know, it's killing me.
I'm sorry, bro. Look, I'm sorry, bro.
I know that was random, but I'm telling the truth. Like, this is.
I'm sorry, bro.
You know, not just when you sick and certain smells and stuff, it make it worse. Like,
it make it worse.
I'm trying to blow my nose and it smell like damn like potpourri. I'm like, it's messing with me right now.
Listen, and here's what makes this funnier to me, because y'all don't know Sean. If y'all know Sean is the complainingest nigga you ever met in your life. So when something is really bad, he gonna really complain. We went to Baltimore a couple years ago. I went to sleep. He went to sleep. He was snoring like a bear. He went to sleep before I did. He was snoring like a bear. So we wake up. I said, man, how'd you sleep? He was like, that was the worst sleep I ever had. I said, damn, I couldn't tell. It's the worst sleep I ever had. I said, God damn, I thought you was good. So this story is exactly the show. Guess what? Y'all got scented toilet paper. It's the worst toilet paper possible. That's my guy, man. Listen, that's my partner. I can make fun of my partner all I want. Yes. The rest of y'all better not say a word about him. I'll tell y'all what. I'm going down with the ship. You ain't messing with Sean. Not if I'm around.
Yeah, they call me grumpy at work too. They're like, man, you a grumpy as whole.
It's the grumpiest dude you ever met in your life. I'm trying to tell you. Sean been 45 years old since he was 12. He's been the grumpiest dude you ever met. But yeah, listen, man. Cleveland Browns, y'all on the clock, man. And it's scary because I don't know what to do beyond this point. But we're on the clock. And we can laugh, we can kind of make a little bit of fun, and we can be a little bit stressed out about where we are. But bro, we on the clock, man. We got to figure something out. Either the coach got to go, or the coach got to give up the play calling, or this quarterback got to go. And I don't know that Case Keenum is the answer. I damn sure don't think that.
Yeah, and Cleveland fans, give up the pipe dream of getting Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, or Deshaun Watson. That's not going to happen. And on top of that, Russell Wilson is probably your best option, but he's been playing like crap the past 3 years. And
he doesn't have, and listen, I tell you what, though, he don't have the offensive line that we have.
No, he sure don't. Yeah, because Russell Wilson be back there running. He be running for his life back there. So I do give you that. And also, I'm hearing this Derek Carr thing too. I don't want Derek Carr. If we're going to,
Derek Carr is basic Mayfield.
Yeah, I'm like, man, this is my thing. If we're going to go away from Baker next year, because like I said, your window to win a championship in the NFL is small. Like what New England has done, that's an anomaly. What the San Antonio Spurs did during their run, that's an anomaly. That doesn't happen.
What the Bulls did in the 90s, that's an anomaly.
Yeah. So the majority of teams, have a very small window. So like if you're going to go away from Baker next year, it better damn be sure that you bringing in somebody that that's been proven, that has been there and won some playoff games, championship caliber football. If not, we might as well go ahead and ride with him for one more year, see what he do. Then if you don't do nothing, then you go ahead and scrap it. Then you got to draft a quarterback, and now you got to start over.
Yep. I agree.
So that's where I'm at with that. So
I agree 1,000%, bro. Like we can't. Like it's easy to say that you don't like the guy, but it's hard to figure out where you need to go.
Yeah, it's not. People act like just going to get a quarterback is easy. Look how long it took us to even find Mayfield. And they had somebody that was, somewhat halfway competent.
And no pun intended, but we ended up with the tallest midget.
Yeah.
Because he's had 2,500 yards over the last 4 years, and he's the first one that we've ever had in our organization, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, listen.
You look at most organizations, look how many actually have elite level quarterbacks. Not many.
Not many. I mean, nobody has, and Troy Aikman said this today, it's not many people that have 30 years worth of Hall of Fame quarterbacking. The Green Bay Packers are in a rare spot. You went from Brett Favre, a Hall of Fame quarterback, to freaking Aaron Rodgers, who might be the best quarterback we've ever seen play quarterback.
And here's something else. And even with that, as great as those two guys have been, they only got two championships.
Got two Super Bowls.
Got
two Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And honestly, you only got 4 Super Bowls between them. Like 4 appearances.
Yeah.
So again, having a great quarterback doesn't equate to, Tom Brady is Tom Brady. That's why he the GOAT. Joe Montana is Joe Montana. That's why we thought he was the GOAT from our generation. The dude went to 4 Super Bowls, won 4 Super Bowls. Joe Montana did. Dan Marino might have been the greatest quarterback I ever seen play football until Aaron Rodgers. But guess how many Super Bowls Dan Marino been in? One. So having the great quarterback does not equate to you getting to the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl or being the greatest ever, per se. And then, look at a guy like Jim Kelly, who got to 4 freaking Super Bowls, which is crazy, but he ain't win one. I'll be honest with you. I wish Bernie Kosar had gotten to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, and really, them like going to 4 straight Super Bowls is an accomplishment. That's crazy.
It's insane.
That Jim Kelly will never get credit for.
It's insane.
They lost.
Yep, that's insane. The fact that these guys got so close, they got close at least twice, and then those other ones they got blew out of. But it's crazy. Like, how do you go to 4 straight? You got 4 straight AFC championships. That's so freaking hard, which is why when people try to downplay the Browns going to 3 out of 4 AFC championship games, that's a lot. That's impressive. Everybody can't do that. Tell me somebody else who's done that other than the Buffalo Bills. It ain't many people that have been to 3 or 4 AFC championships year after year after year after year after year. We did that junk 3 out of 4 years, bro. 3 out of 4 years, and had some of the worst losses that you could ever possibly have. But we showed back up the next year. Like that, you can't take that away from us, but we don't get a trophy for that.
No, it
But
sure don't. Ain't no participation trophies
ain't no
in the
participation
NFL.
for that.
But look,
We lost. We
man.
lost.
So
But
my
it
message
is
to
what
the
it is.
Cleveland Browns
It is what
right
it
now.
is.
Yeah. Well, hold on. My message to the Browns right now is: are you guys going to fold up? Or you still got a shot? As long as you have a shot, you got to go out there and give 100%. Now, if I'm the players, and I hate players
I was
only
about to
meeting,
ask that. I was about to ask that.
I hate players only meeting, but they need to have one like, look, they're gonna have to come together and like, look, our coaching staff, they suck. We're gonna have to
So
win.
do you think they're gonna and now here's a question for you, Sean. Do you think they're gonna say that though?
Among themselves, maybe, and be like, look, we gotta, even Baker sometimes in the huddle, got to pull a Bernie Kosar sometimes. Look, the play come in.
I agree.
I'm audible. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Look, if I see that we running,
yep,
let's go. Like I may pay for it later. I may get cussed out by my coach.
Listen, it better work though. The reason that Bernie was capable of doing that, and the reason that Schottenheimer didn't feel a certain kind of way, because after a certain amount of time, like Bernie was like, "Yo, this gotta happen. This gotta happen," and they ain't do it. But then Bernie would do it, and it would work every time.
Yeah, they said that the game, the fumble game in Denver when Brandon fumbled, they said that whole second half, Bernie was calling his own play.
Yeah, he was calling his own play. He's like, that shit ain't gonna work. Like that shit ain't gonna work.
He called his whole play. Whole second half.
Bernie could have easily been one of the most cerebral, intelligent, football IQ quarterbacks you've ever seen in history. Yeah. Like Troy Aikman talked about that. I saw a thing on NFL network where they were talking about Bernie, and Troy was like, "Man, I had already won a Super Bowl, and Bernie got here, and I was like, damn, I never even thought about that type." You know what I mean? Like,
right?
How do you give a guy who's already done it all and got everything more information? He said, "Man, I've never met a guy with more information than Bernie Kosar." So, no, that ain't Baker Mayfield, and I don't expect for Baker to be that guy. But we need to have somebody in the building with that level of information.
Yeah, and I don't mean for him just to go rogue, just to go completely rogue. But at least sometimes it's like, look, man, we running the ball, we killing these dudes. He calling us, you know what? I'm audible, and we just gonna, we gonna do our thing.
Sometimes you need to have it, but you also need to have like coaches that say to you, like you got to have a coach that say, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna call this play." But in these situations, like you got to know your quarterbacks. So you got to be able to say to your quarterbacks, "Hey, listen, you might not be Bernie Kosar. Bernie was the guy who comes to you with, that ain't gonna work. Here's what's gonna work." But everybody's not a Bernie Kosar, right? So as the offensive coordinator, or as the guy who designs the plays, you say to your quarterback, "Here's what I need you to do in this situation. I know that ain't good for you, but I think this might work for you. Here, we're gonna put this wrinkle in the thing so that when you see XYZ, you can get out of it." Blah blah blah.
Right.
We have those levels of capabilities. The problem is, I don't think that we implement that shit. And I think everybody's afraid to do it because Kevin Stefanski wants to be the goddamn play calling Nazi, and everything's gonna go through me. Man, if you don't get the hell out the way,
man, and we're not that far off. That's the frustrating part.
You 7-8, and you could be 8-7. You 7-8, but you could also be, 10-5.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, bro, you are this far. So what is the difference between this and this? You're just gonna keep putting it on execution. It's not all execution. Some of it is play calling. Let somebody else run the freaking play calling, because Kevin Stefanski I don't know that y'all gonna listen to Sean's show. I don't know that you're gonna listen to our show together. But bro, you stink at play calling. You are terrible at play calling. And I've been saying it all freaking year. And actually, I've been saying it for 2 years. If you go back, I've literally been saying this shit. Sean is like, when Sean started saying to me, bro, you've been saying this for a long time, I had to go back and look. I've been saying that Kevin Stefanski was awful at play calling for 2 years. I've been saying it. Stefanski, bro, I think I like you as a head coach. I'm going to say it again for the multiple, however many times I've said it. I like you as a head coach. I do not like you as an offensive coordinator. Give it up. Give it up. I don't want to see you. I'm not advocating for this dude's job. Anybody who might think that that's what I'm saying. I just got zero faith in him in calling plays from play to play. Right. I don't have any belief in him anymore when it comes to calling plays. However, I think organizational, I think how his demeanor is when it comes to just being a head coach, I think it's all important. I think it's very important. And I like that. However, you the dude that's calling most of the plays, listen, if you call
the thing I hate too, man, is like,
I'm gonna punch you in the throat. If Kevin Stefanski calls another play, I'm gonna punch him in the throat.
It's like ego is a motherfucker, man. It's like a downfall of a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Let your ego go. Like, if it's not working, ain't nobody gonna be mad. Like if he gave up play calling, let's say that going into the next season, ain't nobody gonna be like, oh man, he a punk for giving up the play calling.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, ain't nobody gonna be like, oh man, he a sucker for doing that.
Oh, that punk ass nigga don't want to call no plays no more. Ain't nobody gonna say that.
It's just like, anybody gonna think less of you as a coach. Matter of fact, you'll get some praise for admitting that you need,
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sean. Listen, there ain't many times that if this was last season, I'd be all over the place right now. And I think Sean might have been a little bit nervous coming into this game because he didn't know how I was going. Into this show, rather. He didn't know where I was going to be. I told him, we were texting, and I was like, hey, we need to get the show in because I'm done. I'm done. So I think he was a little bit nervous, but what I'm saying is understanding what my show needs to be, understanding what our show needs to be, and the messages that we need to put out. I think what we're asking for Kevin Stefanski to do is the same thing. I can't always be the angry guy. Guess what I would, if I was always so angry and so belligerent, Sean would want to do the show. Not with me. He might want to do a show, but not with me. Because that dude always going on. And I don't have that kind of time. And it was kind of coming to that at the end of last season. We don't want to do that. We want to keep giving you guys good content. We want to keep giving you guys, clear and concise thought processes and ideologies. So saying all that to say, I'm not sure that Kevin Stefanski is looking at his product the way that I looked at my product and said to myself, don't nobody want to hear you yelling and screaming all the time. Nobody wants to hear that.
Sometimes it's necessary.
Sometimes it is necessary.
Like today it was necessary. Like when we lost to New England, I had my meltdown.
Listen, and what did I do? I got the hell out of the way.
Right, you just let me go.
I let him have the first 5 minutes of the show. I was like this. But that's important to be able to have, because one thing about the show, our show is it needs to be an emotional moment. It has to be some stuff that we got to get out of the way. The thing that I'm pointing towards is that Kevin Stefanski keeps approaching the same problem the same goof-ass way. Yeah, I said it, goof-ass. He keeps approaching the problem the same goof-ass way. It's goofy how he keeps approaching these problems. I've said listen, we can throw, if you throw for 3 plays in a row, you'll say to yourself, well, it's 2nd and 10. Of course we were supposed to throw. Well, you threw on 1st and 10. It was incomplete. But you threw on 2nd and 10, right?
Right.
You threw on 2nd and 10. But when you run on 1st and 10 and you get no yards, then you say, oh, well, I can't run now. So at what point do you give that up? We are a run-first team. And when we started running in this game, what happened? We started winning the game. But we want to keep trying to put the game in this dude's arm. And this dude's arm sucks. His decision-making isn't great. It's not great. I mean, he don't throw 4 interceptions every game. We know that. So I'm not gonna act like today was
The norm.
yeah. This ain't the norm. This ain't the norm. Let's be honest. But this game does say something. Baker Mayfield is what Baker Mayfield is. I don't know that he's gonna get not much better.
Yeah, I've seen him play a whole lot better. But this season, I'm not going to put it on the injuries. So I'm not making no excuses.
No.
For whatever reason, but there's some disconnect with him and the coaching staff this year for whatever reason. But look, man,
you know what? And I'm okay with him having a disconnect with the coaching staff. I'm okay with him looking at the coaching staff like, hey man, I don't like these plays. I'm fine with that. But I need that from my quarterback. I need my quarterback to be like, because if we go back and look at certain offenses, look at Pittsburgh. I remember when Ben didn't like what was happening in his offense. I remember if we go back and look at Green Bay, just using Green Bay.
Aaron Rodgers
didn't like what was happening with his offense either. He hated that shit on certain levels. So the great ones, and Baker ain't as good as Ben when it comes to Ben being as good as Ben was at a certain point.
Right.
Baker ain't as good as that guy. Baker ain't as good as Aaron Rodgers either. However, I do understand that some of that, because I've said it all year, some of how we've called the offense does have an effect on how Baker plays. So I still think that parts of the offense take away from Baker's what he does well. I think it does. So having said that, I saw 3 passes today that were probably 3 of the worst passes I've ever seen. And at least 2 of them that didn't turn into interceptions were really awful freaking passes. Baker Mayfield, you gotta be better. We're trying to, when you get on social media, when you go into a press conference and you say stuff like, you kind of clown the fan base because we're not used to winning and blah 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 and such. You also gotta show us that you're the guy that's doing this for us. You can't do both. Because I tell you what, I listen to all that shit, especially once you put us out there as a fan base. And then I see you playing, and I'm like, yeah, you threw 4 or 5 of the worst passes I've ever seen in your life.
Right.
I could have threw them awful passes. So I'm interested to see if Emily's going to, tweet anything tonight after her dude playing like complete trash today.
She better not. We ain't had enough of that this season. She better not say nothing. Yeah. We had enough of family members to it. She better not say nothing.
Look, I'm about to go on a search of Emily Mayfield's Twitter because Sean said she better not say shit.
She better not say nothing. I mean, now that I'm sick. Because right now, man, I'm sick. I'm sick of all of this. I'm sick of it. And matter of fact, even talking about this game right now, the more we talk about this, the more I'm steeping into a sports depression.
We don't want to listen. We don't want to do that, and we still got 2 more games. The crazy part, we talked about this weeks ago. It's an NFC game. It probably won't have a full play on how the AFC playoffs go down. So we still, the spots are open. If we win the next 2 games, of course we need help. But if we go into the next 2 games and win, we might be able to make the playoffs. So my hopes, my prayers are that we'll win these next 2 games, and that all of those stuffs will play out that way.
Yep,
here's the problem with Sean. I said, here's the problem with Sean though. Sean is one of those guys that he gonna hold our hope. Sean gonna hold our hope, but he also understands that if this is what we riding on, F y'all.
Man,
he ain't gonna say it out loud. I'm gonna say it for him. Sean is one of those guys that see, oh, we need this and this and this to happen. That shit ain't gonna happen. So
right.
But to Sean's defense, who else is like that? I am too. I'm like
basically, that. To put this in old school video arcade terms, we got 1 man left.
We got 1 man left. And you ain't took down the top score yet.
Right.
you bought 15,000 away from the top score. So you got 1 man left.
We got 1 man left. And if we beat Pittsburgh next week, we probably get an extra man.
You might. You might. See, this is why I do this show with my homie, man. Because he gets it.
We got 1 man.
These ain't even jokes. Like, we just do this. This is off the cuff.
We got 1 man left.
And as mad as I was when I called Sean was like, "Oh shit, you ain't been mad all year." I was mad as hell.
I was ready for it. I already knew I was ready for it.
I was mad as hell, and I'm still mad. Let's I'm mad as hell, but the Browns are the Browns, and as Browns fans, we kind of expect certain stuff. This year has been. I've been mad at Sean on certain levels, but the one thing about Sean is so steadfast. Like, you can't knock Sean off of certain blocks. This dude is so steadfast. No matter what you say to Sean is always here. So you have to, if you're gonna knock him off of certain blocks, you better have your shit together. So last year, Sean knocked me off of every block I could have ever possibly had, because Sean was always that guy. This year, I'm like, nope, I got to change it up. Otherwise, I'm gonna lose my partner. I don't want to lose him. I want to keep him engaged. I want to keep him going. So this season has actually been the best season that we put together, and it's come at in so many levels. It's kind of come at our own cost. We've lost some things on the team side that we didn't expect to lose. This team is not as good as we thought they were going to be. So some of this comes out onto the coaches. Some of this comes out onto the execution. Sean has been spot on certain things. I've been spot on certain things as well. But here we are, regardless of who's been right or wrong. Here we are again at the end of another season. Well, we got to point a finger somewhere.
Well,
where we got to say two. It's somebody's fault. You know what I mean? It's somebody's fault. And, I didn't want this season to go to that spot where, Sean felt like, oh man, this dude gonna go berserk. So I was actually kind of a little bit hesitant today. I was like, man, I just need to get this show out the way. I need to get
now you gotta express yourself. Like, I'm not my whole thing is even when you get emotional, just come with facts and good points.
Not just emotion, right?
Yeah, that's all. Like, you can be emotional, you can rant. I rant. It just like last year. It just was a couple times you were so mad that you was going off, man. You was like, man, you wanted everybody to fight, like everybody got to go, man. Blah 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 blah. I was like, okay, now you tripping. Now you going too far.
Look, I wanted to fire the owners. I wanted to fire, who came up with these brown and orange colors? Y'all gotta go.
Like, you was just going crazy, but no, but it's like, as long as you making, like, today you make valid, fair points. You weren't being unfair, even in your emotion and ranting. You were solid. I agree with everything you had to say today. Period. It's come to that point. Like, we weren't expecting this at all. I was like, can you know what? And the thing is, us as fans, like as ludicrous and delusional and idiotic as Browns fans can be at times, we don't deserve this at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, we put our hearts in, so like and it's really, when you think about it, it's really stupid. The Browns affect the mood of the city. Period. When we lose, that next day, even everybody's kind of just like subdued. Like, when we win.
We're talking about a regular Sunday, not even Christmas Day.
Yeah.
We're talking about a regular Sunday. These dudes regulate.
The thing is, we had gotten to be to the point we were so bad that we weren't like that anymore. You know what I'm saying? We had gotten used to it. It's like, all right, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Fine. But now when they started getting good, they gave us hope. And that's the thing, when, like, you had that hope and you have it snatched away from you, it's like, man, like, all we want is to be able to enjoy our football season, enjoy our football team. And the thing is, we're hard on the Browns, but the thing is, all we ask for you to do is play hard. Like, if you go out there, you play hard, you play smart, and don't do things to beat yourself, we good. Like, if we would have, hung in that game and Aaron Rodgers would have made a last second drive, 2-minute drive and won that game, we'd have been like, all right, that's Aaron Rodgers. They fought, and whatever, and we would have been good with it. That's how we are. We ain't totally unfair. Yeah, sometimes we're irrational, but we're not totally unfair.
But
games like this, throwing 4 interceptions,
yeah,
making dumb, one drive, we were driving down the field, you get 2 false starts, and then had 2 sacks that take you out of the, out of scoring range, stuff like that. That's when we get upset, or when you don't utilize your best weapons, man. So, but anyway, it's what is it, 10 o'clock? I'm about to take some medicine, some antibiotics, try to get this.
Yeah, man, get
this sinus infection up out of me.
Hopefully, man, go get you a test. Go get you a COVID test, bro.
Just to be sure. Huh?
I said, just to be sure, man. Go get you a COVID.
I might have to do it. Like, I'm gonna see how I'm feeling better. I'm gonna see how I feel tomorrow. If I'm not feeling any better tomorrow, I will go ahead and do so. I'll get the swab. But
so
I sound worse. I sound way worse than I actually feel.
I actually think you sound good. I don't think, like, if you hadn't said you weren't feeling good, I wouldn't have.
Earlier, I was
I can hear it now, but
yeah,
if you hadn't said anything, I would have been like,
shit. Earlier, I was sounding like Froggy from the Little Rascals. Voice was deep as hell. For real, I was sounding terrible. But just at that stage where it's draining, you know how that goes.
And that's always tough. Like, that's always tough, man.
So,
but it's all good, man. Listen,
I'm gonna get some rest. I'm sleeping in tomorrow. I don't want to be to start turning my phone off. Like, my phone better not ring.
Yeah, man, just go to sleep. Just go to sleep. Just go to sleep. Get you that rest that you need to get. And that's the other part of that. Anybody who's going to listen to this show or listen to what we're saying, get you some rest. If we're at that spot where you're gonna get the flu, the cold, or COVID. So get you some rest.
And take that vitamin C, man. One thing that they aren't one thing that they aren't stressing during this whole thing is getting your immune system built up. I take my vitamin C every day. Like, this is the first sniffles that I didn't had in 2 years.
And that's it. You got to get your vitamins. So get your vitamin C, get your vitamin D.
Yeah.
Also get you some zinc. I do the shots. I do those little juice shots.
Okay.
It's got turmeric and all that stuff for immunity. So I do that. I also do my vitamins. So what we're saying basically is still the same. Listen, get yourself together. Everybody get yourselves together. We're in that part of the year where anything could take you out.
Yeah, there's definitely like flu viruses going around too. They're not talking about it as much because of COVID, but it's flu viruses going around, colds, all of that. So everybody, get your rest, man. Sleep is so underrated.
Get rest.
Yeah.
Get your rest. Get your vitamins up. We'll say prayers for everybody's well-being, et cetera, et cetera. But Sean, love you, bro. Merry Christmas.
Love you too. Merry Christmas.
It's all good.
And probably like to go ahead and wish you a happy New Year. I'm sure I'll text you or talk to you sometime during the week. But as far as the show is concerned, unless we do a midweek show, we haven't done one in a while. But if we don't do one, wish everyone a happy New Year, because then we won't be talking to you guys until after the Steelers game. And here's the thing, I'm telling you this right now. If we lose next Monday, we will have a funeral service for the 2021 Cleveland Browns. Everything I'm playing, we're gonna have a full-on service. I'm gonna have a eulogy and everything prepared.
So y'all play like y'all think I'm playing. So you think I'm a part of this? And this is news to me. I didn't know.
Yes,
this.
I just started that. If the Browns lose,
I'm gonna have to wear all my black. I didn't know. So I put on all
if the Browns lose Monday night, we will have a funeral, a memorial service for the 2021 Cleveland Browns.
Bro, when we show up for the Sunday night game, and let's plan for a midweek show.
Okay.
Let's plan for a midweek show, and then if we lose that game, it's a funeral service. We're gonna do a funeral service. We're gonna do like a pallbearer / Undertaker type. Because Sean and I grew up in the wrestling world, when wrestling was wrestling, not the stuff that y'all see now. We grew up in the wrestling era where that we were still questioning whether it was real or not.
Man, and real quick, since it's Christmas, real quick story. I was more upset finding out that wrestling was fake than finding out that Santa Claus wasn't real. Because when I found out Santa Claus wasn't real, I went downstairs. I looked. I saw I had presents under the tree still. I was I don't care who brought them. I got them. So be it. And my mother, for whatever reason, she was like, "You too caught up in this wrestling stuff. It's fake anyway." I was devastated. I was like 11, 12 years old. I was devastated. I'm like, "You mean that this ain't?" You know what I'm saying? But it didn't stop me. Like she thought it was gonna stop me from being into it. It just made it worse. But I was devastated when I was like, "Why would you do that?" You know what I'm saying? I'm like, "Why would you do that?" She's like, "I didn't think it was that big of a deal. You was too involved in it."
This is what I'm saying. Like, people don't understand how our generation took wrestling, because we literally were the generation. Like, people like my kids, they just assumed that the WWF always existed. It did, but not like you see it now.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, like, I tell people this all the time. Like, how did you know Mr. Perfect? Well, he wasn't Mr. Perfect. He was Kurt Hennig.
Yeah.
He was Kurt Hennig in the AWA. He was the champion for
I remember like with my sister, my sister's 14 years younger than me. And she kind of grew up in the Stone Cold era. And she was like, Stone Cold. When I first saw that, I was like, that's Stunning Steve from the WCW. I'm like, he was whack. I was like, I don't know. I didn't pay Stone Cold no mind for a minute. I was like, man, that's Stunning Steve.
That's Stunning Steve.
She was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, all these people you like, these guys been around for 15, 16 years.
Because we saw them in other
iterations
themselves. So, to see Stone Cold, because I got a ton of love for Stone Cold. he actually made me start watching wrestling.
Yeah, I remember you was telling me that.
So Stone Cold, I remember when The Rock was a
Rocky
part
Maivia, yeah.
he was Rocky Maivia. He was just a part of the, a show.
Nation of Domination, right? Nation of
He
Domination.
wasn't even The Rock. So
Yeah.
for this dude to become The Rock, which I actually enjoyed him being The Rock, to see, Steve Austin become what Steve Austin became. These guys kind of changed the game. They changed the game. So,
I'm kind of mad that I missed out because I was so just entrenched in my era of wrestling that in the WWF had gotten so like when WCW Nitro came on the scene and really just started blowing them out of the water, and you can see that the WWF getting desperate and trying all these different gimmicks to try to save face. It really turned me off, and I thought that they were done forever. So when the Attitude Era came in, I was so anti, and I was pretty much done with wrestling. I said, I'm not paying this no mind. I kind of upset that I missed out on like the Stone Cold era, because I was just like, I pretty much just wrote that off as some nonsense.
Here's the thing. My brother called me and told me, because I wasn't watching wrestling either. My brother called me. He was like, "Yo, you gotta see this. This when Hulk Hogan went to NWA. So there was AWA, there was NWA, there was the Midwest Wrestling. Like, we literally, if you got home early enough on a weekday, Lashana agreed to this.
Oh yeah.
Early enough on a weekday on USA, you can see like 3 different wrestling alliances. You'll see the AWA, you'll see the NWA, and you'll see like Southwest Wrestling or Midwest.
WCCW. You remember World Class with Divine Erickson and all them?
Yeah. So now I get 4 or 5 dudes. You see Chief Wahoo McDaniel. You see Kurt Hennig. You see the Devon Eriks. You see all of these guys in these different wrestling iterations. And then all of a sudden, once Hulk Hogan became what Hulk Hogan was, I think that's when McMahon decided, I'm just going to start buying these cats out. And either you're going to be out and I'll take your top guys, which is what everybody does when you got a lot of money. I'm going to take these guys out and I'm going to take your top product and make your top product work for me. And that's what happened.
Yep.
The crazier part was he couldn't take, at the time, the NWA, which became, what they become?
WCW.
WCW. So you still had, and listen, and the crazier part is, Ric Flair went from there to the WWF, became the WWF champion, and then went back to the WCW and won the championship over there. So when you start to see those types of swings, you saw Hulk Hogan be the WWF champion before WWE, and then he goes to the other side.
Because you remember, it used to be that wrestling promotions never mentioned the other one.
Right.
They acted like it didn't exist.
Right. And that's where the NWO
changed the game. Sure did.
NWO changed everything with that. Yep. When them dudes showed up and you were calling them their actual names, Scott Hall and you know what I mean? These dudes are showing up, you're like, damn, that's Scott Hall from the WWF. You're like, wait a minute, what the hell is going on?
Right. And my dumb grown ass, and I'm a grown ass man at this time, I'm actually thinking it's an invasion. I'm like, they actually invading. I'm like, they invade the WCW.
My brother called me, he's like, bro, turn that money in that Nitro right now. I'm looking at Scott Hall and I'm looking at Hall and Nash as they're, kind of quote unquote taking over shit. He was like, bro, you have no is like everybody's scared of these guys. And I'm like, okay, I get people being scared of Diesel. Why is anybody scared of Razor Ramon though? I know why you're scared of Diesel. Diesel 6'10", 275 pounds, and he gonna put you in a power bomb. That's scary. But why are you scared of Scott Hall? Like Scott Hall is Scott Hall.
Right.
So, but when I started watching, I was like, damn, this is actually kind of dope. And who is this other guy? Like, I got engrossed in it. Like, who's the other guy? Who's the other guy? Man, listen. When Hulk
I had no idea.
turned out to be Hulk Hogan, all I could say was, man, you know what? Like, that's it. I'm in. Y'all got me.
Yeah, the greatest heel turn, in the history of wrestling.
And I was literally in for like 10 more years. That got me in for like 10 more years. And then so where you say you never were a part of the Attitude Era, I wasn't either per se, but because of what was happening over here, it made me at least pay some level of attention. Like I never was a Hunter Hearst guy. I never liked Triple H.
Me either.
I never liked Triple H. However, I give Triple H love. But Stone Cold, The Rock, those guys, they carried the product. I've never been a fan of what's his name? Cena. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
It's trash.
Hey, you know what? One thing though, you know when we're talking about the promotion ever mentioning each other, there was a time before that when they did, before the whole NWO takeover. If you remember when Flair left the NWA and went to the WWE, he took his NWA belt with him. You remember that?
He did. Yeah.
He took the belt.
Showed up with it. He
showed up with it.
On the set. Remember, I think you called me. It was a Saturday show. I didn't see it. And you called me and you said, man, tell me you didn't just watch, whatever the 10 o'clock a.m. Saturday show was. And I said, all right, I didn't see it. He was like, bro, you didn't just see Ric Flair with his belt on the WWF? And I said, man, ain't no goddamn way Ric Flair is on the WWF with that belt. And I never saw that show. However, how the hell did that belt just show up somewhere?
Yeah, right? I remember that because he had the dopest world championship.
Man, that's the best belt ever. That belt is the best belt that's ever been made, period. That belt, if I can get my hands on that belt, never would I give that belt up. I wouldn't even tell nobody I had it. If I could get my hands on, because his belt, those belts from the WCW or NWA actually had a nameplate on the bottom. So when you were the champ, I remember when Ronnie Garvin won, it said, Ron Garvin at the bottom. When Ric Flair had it, it said Ric Flair. When Dusty Rhodes had it, it said that, to me, even just that nameplate was incredible. Those was incredible times. And people who didn't live in those times, just like when people didn't live in the 80s, the late 80s, when the Browns were the best team in the freaking AFC, even though we didn't go to the Super Bowl, y'all missed some great experiences. Sean and I lived in some of the best times as kids that you could ever live in. We saw the Browns on a regular basis, and we expected the Browns to win. And not only did we expect it, they freaking showed up and won.
Yeah, it was nothing better than being an 80s baby.
And then you can watch, I don't care what iteration of any of these shows you watch. If you liked Hulk Hogan was going to win every night. If you like Ric Flair, you like the Rock and Roll Express, you like Dusty Rhodes, these dudes were going to be the best that you ever saw. You know what I mean? So these are the things that we saw growing up. And this is where Sean and I forged our relationship. was in these times where Sean had one person to call. Ron had one person to call. It was Sean.
Right.
That was it. I'm calling Sean because there's only one person that's gonna get this way. Sean gonna get it. This is why we do this show. So we again. I don't want to go too long. It's Christmas night. It's 10:30.
Well, and once again, you guys can go ahead and catch us on Two Guys in the Mic 216 on Facebook. Two Guys in the Mic 216 on
IG.
What else? Yeah, IG and YouTube.
And on hit that subscribe button when you go to the YouTube page.
Right.
Hit
you get us on Apple Podcasts,
comment, all that stuff.
Google Podcasts, Spotify. What else am I missing? Anchor.
Yep,
and any of the other streaming platforms. So anything else, you can go ahead and close us out. Any closing comments that you have?
We pretty much done. Sean, appreciate you, bro. Merry Christmas. Hopefully, you get yourself together with your sinuses and whatnot. But we at that spot, man. We're at a crucial spot when it comes to this team. So let's see what we do over these next couple of weeks. We lost an NFC game, not an AFC game. So we still have a shot at the playoffs. We should be in a better spot, but we're not. But however, we got I think the Monday night game against the Steelers, as Sean was alluding to, is going to be more telling than anything else.
Yeah, and I'm gonna close with this. Based on my favorite show of all time, Sanford and the Son, when Fred got sick from eating them 8-day-old collard greens, and Grady told Esther that Fred had one foot in the grave and the other foot on the banana peel. And that's where the Browns are right now. And we're gonna end it with that. All right, bro. I love you. And I'll catch you on the next show. Everybody, good night.
Love you, dog.
Love you too.